Hi, this is Christine with Ziedman Development. Today I want to walk you through SalsaEngage activity type of events. So just as a side note, I am going to show an additional paid destination in this video, our paid destination for event participants. So this area is not included in the general package from SalsaEngage, but it does pair well with this data. So I wanted to show you everything that's possible. If you choose not to purchase this area, of course, you can customize and work with your data however you like, but this is the ultimate option that is possible if you choose to go this direction. So you can see I've selected my events as my drop down here. You can see that I do have my activity date from set back a little while. Usually the fetch activity from does default to the last time you opened this product, and the fetch activity date does default to when you opened it. The other thing I want to mention is you can filter by your payment processors. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video just to keep this video from becoming too long, but we have other video documentation that does show you how to work with that area. The other thing I want to point out on this screen that is important for events is be mindful of your number of attendees when you're working with this. So if you build your template and you have this number set to 5, and then you open it with a number set to something lower than 5, say 2, you will delete mappings 3, 4, and 5 from your template. So always make sure that you choose a number that is appropriate for the template that you're working with. Be mindful that you can add numbers on easier than you can take numbers off. So if you have it set to 2 and you decide to increase it to 5, you aren't going to ruin your template. But if you have it set to 5 and you decrease it down to 2, you could experience some difficulties with your template. So just be mindful as you're using this, what you've done in your template and what you need. That said, let's go ahead, click OK, download our data, and take a look at my templates. So I do have 7 records of sample data here to work with, and I'm going to open my events template. Of course, you can always build a new template using a green circle with a white plus, but the reason that we have the templates is to save you time, and I want to walk you through a template that I've already done so you can see something already built. So of course, the first time you open this, you will have to build a template, but for today, let's walk through something that's already done. So I'm going to click on my edit button there, and it's going to open my template. So a few things you can see here. The first thing that we always have to start with is adding a constituent mapping. So a constituent mapping is essentially creating that constituent. So my template is set to just create individual constituents, and you can see that I've used my source field data here to create my person. So you can work with a purchaser, you can work with a supporter. They may or may not be the same person, but you need to consider your data and choose the one that's appropriate for you. I am working with the purchaser for the purpose of this example. So you can see that I've selected my purchaser last name, my purchaser first name. You can see that I have some default values here. So I've selected a template ID of William Smith for my primary addressee and a template ID of just William for my primary salutation. I don't have addressees and salutations set up in SalsaEngage, and I don't need them set up there. But I do need them in Razor's Edge. So I've used my templates here to select what works for me so that these will default into Razor's Edge how I need them to be. The other thing to notice is that this far right column are my settings, and these allow me to make some changes to my fields as I go. So for example, I do have a field for nickname, and I've got my settings on my nickname to only add nicknames to new constituents and to make them all proper case. So you can use those kinds of settings on fields like the nickname or the first name or the last name to help clean up this data as it's coming into Razor's Edge. Let's save our mapping here. So the other things you can add from this tab, you can add constituent attributes and constituent codes, and you can add solicit codes, additional addresses and salutations, aliases, all different pieces here. So let's take a quick look at our constituent code. So you can see I've added one for friend. I could add a date from or a date to if I wanted to. Chosen not to, but you may want those. You can also, let's take a quick look over at our addresses. So you can see here, I've actually got 2 different sets of addresses. So I have address for my purchaser, and I have addresses for my attendee. So you can see over here where they're linked, but you can also see I use my naming mechanisms to help keep it straight as well. So let's just open one of our addresses. This is our purchaser's address. And you can see that we have purchaser at one, purchaser, all of these different things, so that I can see that this is the information from my purchaser. If I open my attendee to address, you can see that my source field is different. So you can see I now have attendee to address and attendee to city. So if you have more than one record in your file, make sure you're picking the correct addresses. And in just a minute, I'll show you how I created my attendee to. Right now, that's just available here because I've created it on my participants tab. But right now, we're just looking at the address tab. So you can also see I've done the same kind of a thing with the phone number and the email address. So if you open my phone number here, you can see I have a purchaser phone. I've assigned it to a cell type. And I have an attendee email. So you can see how that's been set up here so that it can have the email address and then it's labeled as an email. So after you work with your address, we also have the option here to work with our participations. So this is the area that I said was the additional add-on, and this is what allows you to link that person to an event in Razor's Edge and add all the different pieces to that event. So for example, I have my participation, and this is where I have linked to the event of the afternoon tea. I can update that invitation. I can work with my group seating. I can work with whether or not there's speaker or a name tag or any of these features, any of these fields that are available to you in the event module on a participation record, you can add those here. Once you've created your participation, then you can add guests. So that's how I've added attendee to. Or you can add an attribute. So I have one here that is going to go on the record for a dinner choice. You can add a registration. So this is how you determine that number of tickets. So here you can see I've got my purchaser ticket cost. I have my total number of tickets. I have the amount deductible, and then I have my unit of what tickets they bought. Once you've added those registration fees, you can also link to a gift that is paying the registration fees. So I do have some gifts mapped over here. I have one for a donation, one for a registration fee. So let's come back to our participants. We can click link to gift. So let's link our registration fees. So here we can say what's our applied amount, and we can come down to our total purchase. Let's see. Total received amount, and we can link to the gift. So these are the names of our gifts. We're going to click this to link to the registration fee because this is linking the registration fees. And we do have to add linking that to the participant there. And then if we want to add the donation, we can do the same thing. So let's link donation. This is going to add that gift to the donation tab. So because we have a participant and an attendee, we do have to select which record. So we're going to link that to the participant. And this one, we're going to find that donation amount. Here we go. And we're going to click on the donation. So what this is going to do is it's going to link the donation to the event participation so that you can see it not only on the gift tab, but you can link to it from the event tab as well. So you can see now we've added all of these different pieces. We've linked an attendee to a participant. We've added dinner options. We've linked our donations, and we've linked our registration fees. So all of those are features that you can work with in that participant destination if you choose to add that. I hope that this has been helpful for giving you an idea of what information you can work with in this destination. Please let us know if we can help. Thanks so much, and have a great day.